Good morning, students. Welcome back to online class after a gap of 1 week. Students, last week our management conducted exams, is it? How did you write the exam, students? I hope you wrote well, is it, students? Okay, students, today we can start one new lesson. Before entering into the lesson, let me ask you one or two general questions. Bring the answer in your mind. Okay, students? The first question is, what is the essential thing we need in our day to day life? What is the essential thing we need in our day to day life? The answer is food, is it? Without food, we cannot live. Is it, students? Okay. The second question is, to lead a healthy life, what should we maintain? To lead a healthy life, what should we maintain? We should maintain food security. Is it? We should maintain food security. Okay. The third question, which are the substances combined to form our daily food? Which are the substances combined to form our daily food? What are the things combined in our daily food, students? Very good. Nutrition, carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, etc. Is it? These are the things combined to form our daily food. Is it, students? Okay, students. Now, can you guess which topic we are going to learn now? Very good. Now we are going to learn economics one lesson, food security and nutrition. Listen very careful, students. Now I am going to teach economics lesson 3, food security and nutrition. Okay. Students, from this lesson, today we discuss about meaning and definition of food security, basic components of food and nutrition security, and availability and access to food grains. Listen very careful, students. Today we are going to learn the meaning and definition of food security, basic components of food and nutrition security, and availability and access to food grains. Okay. Listen, students. First of all, I am going to teach meaning and definition of food. Okay. Food is defined as any substance that people eat and drink to maintain life and growth. Listen very careful, students. What is food? Food is defined as any substances that people eat and drink to maintain life and growth. Okay. Then, food security. What is meant by food security? Food security defines a person's ability to eat enough, stay active, and lead a healthy life. Listen, students, what is meant by food security? Food security defines a person's ability to eat enough, stay active, and lead a healthy life. Okay, this is the meaning of food and food security. Okay, students, next I am going to explain the definition of food security. The definition of food security. Listen, students, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization give the definition of food security. Listen very careful, students. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization give the definition of food security. That is, when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutrient food which meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Listen, students. The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization give the definition of food security. The definition of food security is when all the people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food which meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Okay, this is the definition of the food security. Okay, this definition shows the need for food to be nutritious and some other aspects also need to achieve food security. This definition shows the need for food to be nutritious and some other aspects also need to achieve food security. Okay. According to agricultural scientist Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, nutrition security is physical, economic, and social access to a balanced diet, safe drinking water, environmental hygiene, primary health care, and primary education. Now, listen very careful, students. The one of the agricultural scientist, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, says nutrition security is physical, economic, and social access to a balanced diet, safe drinking water, environmental hygiene, primary health care, and primary education. Okay. Then next one is the basic components of food and nutrition security. Now listen very careful, students. The next topic is basic components of food and nutrition security. Listen, students, there are three basic components of food and nutrition security are there. Listen very careful, students. There are three basic components of food and nutrition security. They are availability of food, access to food, absorption of food. Listen very careful, students. The three basic components of food and nutrition security is availability of food, access to food, and absorption of food. Okay. Now listen very careful. The first one is availability of food. The availability of food is physical availability of food stocks in desired quantities, which is a function of domestic production. It changes in stocks and imports. Listen very careful, students. The availability of food is physical availability of food stocks in desired quantities, which is a function of domestic production, changes in stocks and imports. Okay. Then the second one is access of food. Okay. It is the matter of purchasing power, and it is closely linked with the capabilities and employment opportunities to earn. It is the matter of purchasing power, and it is closely linked with the capabilities and employment opportunities. Capabilities means the power to do something. Okay, capability means the power to do something, and employment opportunities to earn. Capabilities and opportunities are related to one's access to assets and education. Listen very careful, students. Capabilities and opportunities are related to one's access to assets, access, permission, okay, to assets, confidence, okay, and education. Okay, then the third one is absorption of food. The third one is absorption of food. It is the ability to biologically utilize the food consumed. The absorption of food is the ability to biologically utilize the food consumed. That means biologically utilize our consuming foods. Biologically utilize our consuming foods. Okay. Then the next one is availability and access to food grains. Listen very careful, students. The next one is availability and access to food grains. Listen, students. Food security for a people in a country is not only depend on the quantum of food available. Listen very careful, students. The food security for people in a country is not only depend on the quantum of food available, but also on the ability people to purchase the food and to stay in healthy environment. Listen very careful, students. The food security for people in a country is not only depend on the quantum of food available, but also on the ability of people to purchase the food and to stay in healthy environment. Food security of people is also related to a country's overall development process. Listen very careful, students. The food security of people is also related to a country's overall development process. Okay. Then because of droughts experienced by India, it is dependent on imports of food grains. Because of droughts experienced by India, it depended on imports of food grains. Okay, the foreign exchange reserve could not permit open market purchase and import of grains. So, India had to pledge for food grains from richer countries at high rates. Listen very careful, students. The foreign exchange reserve could not permit open market purchase and import of food grains. So, India had to pledge for food grains from richer countries at high rates. Okay, so in 1960, USA extended assistance through its public law 480 schemes. Now listen, so in 1960, USA extended assistance through its public law 480 scheme. Okay, the American administration and the philanthropic organizations formulated a plan to increase food production in the country by introducing high yielding variety seeds of wheat and rice. Listen very careful, students. The American administration and the philanthropic organization founded a plan. Okay, they formulated one plan. That plan is to increase food production in the country by introducing high yielding variety seeds of wheat and rice. Okay, this program was implemented some selected districts. This program was implemented some selected districts. That means where there is irrigation facilities are there, that particular districts were implemented in this program. Okay, as a result, this program was extended to cover a larger number of districts. As a result, this program was extended to cover a larger number of districts. Because of that, the Green Revolution was born, so the food grain production were increased. Because of that, the Green Revolution was born, so the food grain production were increased. Okay, the farmers cultivated with HIV of rice and wheat and also cereal crops. Listen very careful, students. The farmers cultivated with HIV, that means high yielding variety of seeds. Okay, high yielding seeds of rice and wheat and also some cereal crops also. Okay, in 1950, more than 98 million hectares of land also cultivated rice, wheat and cereals. Listen very careful, students. In 1950, more than 98 million hectares of land also cultivated rice, wheat and cereals. Okay, then 54 million tons of food grains were harvested. 54 million tons of food grains were harvested and also 547 kilogram grains were harvested per hectare. Listen very careful, students. 54 million tons of food grains were harvested. 547 kilogram grains were harvested per hectare. Okay. This situation is steadily improved over a period of 65 years. This situation is steadily improved over a period of 65 years. At present, yield of food grains increased fourfold time. Listen very careful, students. At present, yield of food grains increased for fourfold times. Okay. With this growth in food grains production, it was made possible by HIV program and chemical fertilizers for the farmers. This growth in food grains production was made possible by the HIV program and chemical fertilizers for the farmers. Okay, then cheaper farm credit was affect the farmers through cooperative banks and societies. Listen very careful, students. Cheaper form of credit was affected the farmers through cooperative banks and societies. So MSP was introduced. So MSP was introduced. MSP means minimum support price. Listen very careful, students. MSP means minimum support price. Okay. Then the farmers harvested the grains through FCI. The farmers harvested the grains through FCI. FCI means Food Corporation of India. FCI means Food Corporation of India. Okay. The FCI built storage grounds and built the buffer stocks of food grains during the harvest season all through the year. The FCI built the storage of the grains for grounds and it built buffer stocks of food grains during the harvest season all through the year. Okay. Then the next one is minimum support price, MSP. MSP means minimum support price, is it? The minimum support price is a price it is fixed by an expert group for a particular crop by various cost. The MSP is a price fixed by an expert group for a particular crop by various cost. Okay. However, the farmers are started free to sell in the open market and get a better price for their production. Listen very careful, students. The MSP is a price it is fixed by an expert group for a particular crop by various cost, is it? However, the farmers are started free to sell in the open market and get a better price for their production. They are selling their products through FCI. The farmers are selling their products through FCI. FCI means Food Corporation. Okay, FCI means Food Corporation. Okay, Food Corporation in India. Then the rapid increase in food grains accompanied by technological inventions in dairy, poultry and fishery sectors. The rapid increase, rapid, that means speedily it was increased. So the increase of food grains accompanied by technological inventions in the dairy, poultry and fishery sector. Okay. As a result, milk production in a country were increased eightfold. As a result, the milk production in a country were increased eightfold. Egg production were increased in 40-fold. Egg production were increased in 40-fold and fish productions were increased by 13-fold between the time of independence and mid-2000. Listen very careful, student. The fastly growing of food grains accompanied by some of the technological invention in the area of dairy, poultry and fishery sector. As a result, milk production in a country were increased eightfold. Okay, milk production in a country were increased eightfold. Then egg production were increased in 40-fold. 40. Okay, the egg production were increased in 40-fold and fish production were increased by 13-fold. The fish production were increased by 13-fold between the time of after independence to mid-2000. Okay, can you understand, students? Shall we recall the points? Students, now we learned economics lesson 3, food security and nutrition. Is it? From this lesson, what are the things we discussed now? Have you remembered, students? Now we learned about the meaning and definition of food security. What is food? Then basic components of food and nutritious security and availability and access to food grains. Is it, students? Now first what we learned? First we learned about what is food. Is it? What is food, students? Food is defined as any substance that people eat and drink to maintain life and growth. Is it? What is food, students? Food is defined as any substance that people eat and drink to maintain life and growth. Is it? Then we learned about the meaning of food security. Is it? What is meant by food security? Very good. Food security defines a person's ability to eat enough, stay active and lead a healthy life. Is it? What is food security? Food security defines a person's ability to eat enough, stay active and led a healthy life. Is it? Then what we have learned next, students? Next we learned about the definition of food security. Is it? What is the definition of food security? Who formed the definition of food security? The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization. Is it? Who gave the definition of food security? The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Is it? What is the definition of food security, students? When all people at all times have physical, social and economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food which meets their dietary needs and food preference for an active and healthy life. Is it? What is the definition of food security? When all people at all times have physical, social and economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food which meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. Okay, students. Then the agricultural scientist Dr. M.S. Swaminathan gave about nutrition security. Is it? What he mentioned? He mentioned about the nutrition security is physical, economic and social access to a balanced diet, safe drinking, water environment hygiene, then primary health and primary education. Okay, agriculture scientist Dr. M.S. Swaminathan mentioned nutrition security is physical, economic and social access to a balanced diet, safe drinking water, environmental hygiene, primary health care and primary education. Okay, then next we learned about the basic components of food and nutrition security. Is it? Next we learned about the basic components of food and nutrition security. How many basic components are there? Very good. There are 3 basic components of food and nutrition security. Is it? What are they? Excellent. The first one is availability of food. The second one is access to food. And the third one is absorption of food. Okay. Then from availability of food, we learned about it is the physical availability of food stocks in deserved quantities, which is a function of domestic production. It changes in stocks and imports. Okay. From access of foods, we learned about it is a matter of purchasing power. Is it? Access of food means it is a matter of purchasing power and also it is closely linked with the capabilities and employment opportunities to earn. It is related to the capabilities and employment opportunities. Okay. Then the third one is absorption of food. Is it? It is the ability to biologically utilize the food consumed. That means biologically utilized our consuming foods. Okay. Then next we learned about availability and access of food grains. Next we learned about availability and access to food grains. Is it? That means food security for people in a country is not only depend on quantum of food available, is it? And also it is based on the ability of people to purchase the food and to stay in healthy environment. Okay. Food security of people is also related a country's overall development process, is it? It is also related to a country's overall development process. Okay. Then in 1960, USA extended assistance through its public law 480 schemes. Is it? USA extended one public law 480 scheme in which year, students? 1960. Okay, 1960. And also the American administration and the philanthropic organization, they formulated a plan to increase the food production in a country. Which plan they introduced? They introduced the high-yielding variety seeds. Okay, they introduced the high-yielding variety seeds of wheat and rice and some of the cereals also. This program was implemented by some districts. Which are the districts? Where there is irrigation methods or facilities are there they implemented in this policy. Okay, as a result of this, they extended to cover a larger number of districts also, and also because of that, the Green Revolution was born. Is it because of that the Green Revolution was born? Okay, so because of burning the Green Revolution, the food grains production were increased. Is it the food grain production were increased? Okay. For example, in 1950, more than 98 million hectares of land also cultivated. In 1950, more than 98 million hectares of land also cultivated rice, wheat, cereals, etc. Okay, and also 54 million tons of food grains were harvested. 54 million tons of food grains were harvested. 547 kilogram grains were harvested per hectares. Okay, this situation was steadily improved over a period of 65 years. This situation is steadily improved. How many years? 65 years. Okay. At present, the yield of food grains were increased fourfold time. At present, the yield of food grains were increased fourfold time. Okay. This growth in food grains production were made possible by HIV program and chemical fertilizers for the farmers. Okay. Then the cheaper farmer credit was affect the farmers, is it? So they start introduced the MSP means very good, minimum support price. Okay, the government announced minimum support price. That means the farmers harvested the grains through FCI means the Food Corporation of India. FCI means Food Corporation of India. Okay, this corporation built storage grounds, then buffer stocks for food grains during the harvest season all through the year. Okay. Okay, students. Next we learned about minimum support price. Next we learned about minimum support price. Okay. Listen very careful, students. This is one of the 5-mark question. Okay. Listen. The minimum support price is fixed by an expert group for a particular crop by various cost. Is it? It is a price fixed by an expert group for a particular crop by various cost. Okay, however, the farmers are started free to sell in the open market. So, the farmers are started free to sell in the open market and get a better price for their production. Okay, and get a better price for their production. Okay, they are selling their products through FCI. The farmers are selling their products through FCI. FCI means Food Corporation in India. Okay. Then the rapid increase in food grains accompanied by technological invention. Some of the areas they are showing some of the techniques to improve their production for the areas of dairy, poultry, fisheries, etc. Okay. As a result, the milk production were increased, the egg production were increased, fisheries were increased. Is it? Milk production were increased in 8-fold. Then egg production were increased 40-fold, and the fish production is increased 13-fold between the period of after independence and the mid 2000. Okay, can you understand, students? The rest of this lesson I will teach the next class. Okay, the continuation of this lesson I will teach the next class. Students, now all are take your book. Now all are take your book. Turn the exercise pages. All are take your book. Turn the exercise pages. Page number 319. Page number 319. Roman number 5. Roman number 5. Answer in short. Short answer. Short answer. First question. Short answer. First question. Define food security according to FAO. Define food security according to FAO. Answer is page number 311. Answer is page number 311. Page number 311. Food security heading. Food security heading. Second paragraph. Food security heading. Second paragraph. Listen, students. Food security exists when all the people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food, which meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. That one paragraph fully you will mark. Then the second question, what are the basic three components of food and nutrition security? Listen, what are the basic three components of food and nutrition security? Page number 311, the same page number 311, page number 311, basic components of food and nutrition security heading. First para, the three basic components of food and nutrition security, they are availability, access, and absorption. Availability, access, and absorption. From there, availability heading fully, access to food heading, second point, up to earn, fourth line, employment opportunities to earn. Then third point fully, okay. Then the answer is basic components of food and nutrition security. From there, first para fully. Then the first para fully you mark. Then those who are can, you will learn that 3 points. Students, first paragraph fully you mark. Then those who are can, you should mark that 3 points also. Okay, the 3 points explanation also. Those who are can, you will mark and study. Okay, students. Then the third question, what is the role of FCI in Green Revolution? Then the third question, the answer is page number 312. Third question, page number 312. Availability and access to food grains. That heading, that side last 2 line. Check last 2 lines on paragraph is there, is it? From there to you start. Thus Green Revolution was born. Did you see, students? Very good. Thus Green Revolution was born in the country, paving way for self-sufficiency in food grains production. That is first point. Close the bracket. Then, did you mark, students? Okay. Then the second point, the cheaper farm credit was distributed to farmers through cooperative banks and societies. That means that next paragraph, one green color small box is there, no? Nearby that box, you check the answer, students. Second point, cheaper farm credit was distributed. Did you see? Cheaper farm credit was dispersed to farmers through cooperative banks and societies. Close the bracket. That is second point. Then third point, the continuation. Okay, third point, the continuation. Minimum support price for the crops were announced at the beginning of the season. That para fully up to through the year. Okay, up to through the year. Finished, students? Okay. Then the next question. Fourth question, what are the effects of Green Revolution? Fourth question, what are the effects of Green Revolution? Page number 312. Availability and access to food grains heading. Then this side, opposite side, first line, check the first line, students. First line middle, increased food grains, likewise it is starting, is it? Increased food grains production was made possible by an increased area cultivated with HIV of rice and wheat, as also an increase in the yield of these major cereal crops. That one first point. Increased food grains production, from there to cereal crops. First point. Second point, the same paragraph, last sentence. Yield of food grains has increased fourfold between the time of independence and at present. The same paragraph, last sentence, yield of food grains has increased fourfold between the time of independence and at present. Okay. Then the third point, the next paragraph, third point, the next paragraph, fourth line, introducing fertilizer responsive high yielding varieties of rice and wheat. Introducing fertilizer responsive high yielding varieties of rice and wheat. That one second point. Then third point, one line after cheaper farm. Third question also you mark there. Cheaper farm credit was disturbed to farmers through cooperative banks and societies. Close the bracket. 3 points. Okay. 3 points. Students, from here, any doubt, you will refer the guide. Okay, you check the guide, you can understand the answer. Those who have the doubt to marking, you check the guide and you mark it in the book. Okay, you clear the doubt. Then, answer in detail. First question, Roman number 6, answer in detail. First question, elucidate why the Green Revolution was born. That is, refer the guide. Okay, that question you refer the guide. Already I informed, you should buy the Surah guide, is it? I hope you all are bought. From the guide, you should refer this question. Okay, answer in detail, first question. Then, answer in detail, second question. Explain minimum support price. Second question, explain minimum support price. Page number 312. Page number 312. One blue color box is there, is it? 312. One blue color box is there. Did you see, students? Minimum support price. One blue color box is there, no? That fully you will mark. That is the second detail. Minimum support price. That blue color box fully you mark. That is the second question answer. Okay. Okay, students. You will learn these all question answers. The continuation of this lesson I will teach the next class. Okay, students. Thank you.